mobile phone. Look!
Wow, that's such a nice picture. You know what? I was just reading a book titled The Camera by Rebecca Sabato. This book talks about the history of cameras and how they came to be. Are you curious to find out more?
Yes, tell me more!
Let's dive right into it.
The first camera-like device came from ancient Greece and China in 400 BC and was called camera obscura, otherwise known as pinhole camera. The pinhole camera was a dark room with a tiny hole in one of its walls. Light would pass through that hole and project onto the opposite wall, showing an upside-down image of the subject outside the hole. George Eastman introduced the first Kodak camera in 1888. It was a wooden box that used a flexible film as its camera roll, and each box had enough film for 100 photos. Eastman continued to create cameras for the public, leading to the creation of Brownie camera in the 1900s. This camera costed $1 back then, which would be about 44 Sing dollars today. The Brownie series of cameras were so popular that people used them from the 1900s all the way to the 1960s. Somewhere in 1933, the first single-lens reflex camera, Exacta, was released to the public. This SLR camera had a series of mirrors reflecting light into the viewfinder, which allowed users to see exactly what their photos would capture. In the 2000s, camera phones hit the market, and the JSH-04 was the first phone to send photos electronically. Camera phones have since advanced to include editing tools, videos, and much more. Now, cameras have imaging sensors that are exposed to light instead of mirrors. They also have LCD screens that preview images. Many come in small sizes, making them easy to take on the go.
Wow, I didn't realize the history of camera was so rich.
Yes, did you know that you can also make your own camera at home using a box? It's called a pinhole camera.
Oh, I remembered what you shared earlier. That's where light passes through the small hole on one side and projects an upside-down image on the opposite side of the wall.
That's right, Nurul. What we're gonna do is take a box and cover it so that light does not pass through it. There'll be one small hole at the side of the box, and on the opposite side, we'll have a piece of parchment paper so that the image can pass through it. Shall we make it together?
Sure! Let's make a pinhole camera!
You will need the following materials: an empty box, a sharp pencil, a pair of scissors, a penknife, a ruler, parchment paper, both sticky and double-sided tape, and black colored paper.
Take the empty box. On one side of the box, measure a square of 5 cm by 5 cm in the center. Using either a penknife or a pair of scissors, get an adult to help you cut out the square. This will create a square-shaped hole in the box. Next, let's cut out a square from the sheet of parchment paper. Measure a square of 8 cm by 8 cm. Again, get an adult to assist you with cutting out the square piece. Tape the square piece of parchment paper to the inside of the box, over the square hole that you have cut in it.
Close the box and use a piece of scotch tape to tape the box.
Wrap the box with black paper, but make sure not to cover the parchment paper. If you do not have black paper, you can also use any dark colored paper or black poster paint to cover the box. This is to ensure that light cannot enter the box.
Take a penknife and cut out the square piece of black paper that covered the parchment paper. Be careful to not tear the parchment paper. You can get an adult to help you out with this portion. Continue to cover the rest of the box with black paper.
At the opposite side of the box with the parchment paper, draw an X from one end to the other. Poke a hole in the middle of the X. Now it's time to test out your pinhole camera. Be sure that the end with the parchment paper is facing you and the end with the pinhole is facing the lamp. Hold your pinhole camera at arm's length from your face and aim it at the lamp. Keep it steady until you see an upside down image of the lamp.
Test using boxes of different sizes with different hole sizes.
Wow, I really learned a lot about cameras today. Are there any other books that I can read to find out about inventions of photography?
Yes, definitely. I have 2 books for you.
Check out Genius Optical Inventions, From the X-ray to the Telescope by Matt Turner for an ebook with fun illustrations revealing crazy optical inventions such as spectacles for horses. If you enjoyed this activity and want to test out other photography techniques, do look for Makeup Projects for Kids Who Love Photography by Joan Marie Galat in the public libraries.
We hope you enjoyed learning more about the history of cameras, creating your own pinhole camera, and our book recommendations.
Do check out www.childrenandteens.nlb.gov.sg for more good reads and resources during the school holidays. Bye!